Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to introduce you to our brand new 2025 Chevrolet Equinox EV. I'm going to go over exactly why we decided to purchase this fully electric vehicle, go over some initial pros and cons of it, and give you my overall impressions of it after driving it for a week and putting over 1,000 miles on it already. If you've seen any of our other videos, the three other vehicles we own are all V8 engine vehicles. They're all gas guzzling, either trucks or SUVs. It'd be nice to have something a little bit more fuel efficient to, for in-town sort of driving, running errands and whatnot. And also, I happen to drive for Amazon Flex. I've done it for several years now. I've done it part-time and now doing it sort of more full-time-ish. Getting something more fuel efficient would greatly improve the profitability of that side gig. So this is probably the best deal you can get on any new car anywhere right now in the United States here as of late August 2025. We had a number of discounts and rebates that were already on this thing that's offered by Chevrolet. I think they're just really trying to push this inventory out. They know the tax credits are ending. So they are discounting the heck out of these things just to get them out, because they know once that tax credit ends, they're not going to be selling those. It's going to be even harder to get rid of those. And they're already seeing kind of a slowdown in the EV market. So yeah, they're giving insane discounts on this. We got probably close to $10,000 off of what this thing goes for MSRP. So I think that's really good. And then when you think about the $7,500 tax credit, which you can take up front if they deem that you qualify, but we're going to go ahead and take that come tax time. Just an incredible deal, an incredible vehicle for the price. So I'm going to give you guys some initial pros and cons of the 2025 Chevy Equinox. Pro number one is the value. This is an excellent car for the money. With all the dealer incentives and the federal tax credit, which is ending at the end of September 2025. There's lots of nice features in it for the price after all the discounts. Number two pro, efficiency. 260-mile range and that's with 80% battery charge. Now you can squeeze more out of it. You can charge it, you can adjust it up to 100% and get 319 miles of range, but they advise against that in order to extend your battery life and whatnot. You want to just on a daily basis only charge it to around 80%. And it comes from the factory program that way, but you can change that. If you download the Chevy app, you can charge it more for, say, if you're going to go on a road trip, you need the absolute maximum range that this thing can offer. You can do that and get 319 miles out of the LT2. Now, I think the higher end model, the RS, is a little bit different range. I think it's slightly less than that because it's more powerful motor. But that's what you get with this one. And speaking of the motor, full electric motor giving you 220 horsepower and 243 pound-feet of torque. And unlike other electric vehicles, this actually does not have a front trunk or a frunk per se. I believe the electric motor is underneath the hood of this thing. In fact, a lot of things you can access, like washer fluid and the like, can all be accessed through the hood, just like a regular internal combustion engine vehicle. That also may add to its the way it drives being very similar to a car, I think, versus say a Tesla that has the motors in the axles themselves, kind of lower to the ground. Pro number three is the technology. This thing comes with a 17.7-inch touchscreen in the center stack with built-in Google. All the apps has Google Maps built into it. It doesn't have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You don't have to mirror your phone. It has it all built into the screen, and it's amazing. It's such a clear and large display. Unlike, Tesla has the entire center stack as a screen, which actually I'm not a big fan of. I kind of like having some of it in front of the driver as well, which this does have an 11-inch instrument cluster display as well, which is a screen, but I do like that. I like being able to just look down and see how fast I'm going or what type of electric consumption I'm having. I really like that feature. Pro number 4 is the safety features of this thing. It has a plethora of safety features. This is, my wife and I really like this for our daughter or any new driver, any parent concerned about their driver being safe, new driver being safe on the road would be happy to know that this comes with forward collision alert, automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian and bicyclist braking, side bicyclist alert. That's a really cool feature. Even if you're parked, it'll tell you if there's a person approaching you from the side. I was like, that'd be really cool in case you're about to be carjacked or something. You know, it'd only be seconds, but hey, seconds could save your life in a scenario like that. It has lane keep assist, lane departure warning, reverse auto braking is also standard. It's just got so many features. And I believe it has a 5-star overall safety rating from NHT, the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, earning 5 stars in each of their tests. If you want a safe vehicle, this one's it. It's got you covered and for a very good price. Pro number 5, the room and comfort of this thing, for being how big it is on the outside and being so maneuverable still as a delivery vehicle or just everyday vehicle. You know, you don't have to do a 1,000,000-point turn to turn this thing around. Still not as good as our Jeep Grand Cherokee or a Jeep. Those, to me, have always had the best turning radius, but this is definitely better than our Yukon and our Ram heavy-duty Power Wagon. I found that the driver's seat is one of the most comfortable seats for road trips. I don't know what it was, but when I took it home after we bought it, and I actually got to ride in it for an extended length of time, it felt like I could sit there for hours and not get sore. I just loved how everything was laid out in the dash and everything. Very impressed. And the one bonus pro I have for this that kind of took me off guard, I wasn't expecting it, is how fun it actually is to drive. No, it's not like having a manual transmission, rear-wheel drive, V8 muscle car going down a curvy road, but the instant torque and the decent amount of power it has, combined with the weight causing it to handle, stay planted on the road, and it's just fun. I've wanted to just take this thing everywhere, and at the same time, you're saving gas money. It's like almost too good to be true. It's like a cheat code in a way. I know I'm probably going to think differently once I see the electric bill, but the amount of electricity it takes to power this thing versus the same amount of gasoline is supposed to be less. So, I mean, we'll see. I'll probably give an update on how that goes in the future, but I'm just totally loving driving this thing so far. And I'm a driving enthusiast. I love having a manual transmission if one's available in a vehicle. And I thought, first glance, this just looks like some other boring passenger car that they're, making nowadays, but it's not. It's a lot of fun to drive. It handles amazingly well, even for having 245, 55, 19 Michelin Primacy tires on it. It's great. Good size hill. The torque is amazing. The instant torque and the regenerative braking, it really allows you to drive one pedal. It's great for immediate throttle and braking intermittently. It's amazing not having to put your foot on the brake. Right now I have the braking set to its hardest setting. There's like a lighter setting, and then there's the hardest. And then I've got the drive mode set to sport mode. Kind of gives a little better throttle response, and it feels like it handles better too. This is actually a lot more fun to drive than I thought it would be. We're looking for this. I was just looking for you know, the cheapest electric vehicle that qualifies for the full $7,500 tax credit. And man, it delivers. Now, I've never driven a Tesla or any of the other faster electric cars out there, but this thing can hold its own. I think compared to a gas version of this is way more fun to drive, exciting. You know, of like an Equinox, a gas version of this Equinox, this type of small compact SUV. I don't even know if you call this an SUV. It's more of a like a hatchback. We're going downhill here, and all I have to do is let off the throttle, and this thing will come to a complete stop. Here, I'm letting completely off. We're facing downhill. Look at it, coming to a complete stop. Slightly downhill. That's amazing. I'm gonna pull out onto this more of a highway here. Do kind of a mini 0 to 60 run. This isn't very scientific, but we are at a dead stop. It's got the holding brakes on. And I'm just gonna gun it because somebody's gonna come flying here. All right, ready? Once it gets going, oh man. It's not the quickest thing out there. It's just, you feel the torque immediately. It feels like it kind of cuts off some of the juice once you hit like 30 or 40. But I'm expecting it to just keep going. But then after that, the power and the torque curve felt very linear, there wasn't any jolt. Like, it's just, this is what you see, what you get. I mean, in some ways that it might not be thrilling, in other ways the instant torque is. It's not slow. In fact, during my time driving it here this past week, put over 1,000 miles on this thing. And you know, if you're in a rush or you need to get around somebody on the interstate, there's no lack of power, no lack of torque. It has plenty of passing power. Jack, con number one is the leave on feature. The thing that allows you to leave the engine on when you leave it, because normally when you let off the brake and you exit the vehicle, it shuts off. The same thing when you get in. You just get in, put your foot on the brake, and that basically turns it on if you have the key fob on you. And you just put your seatbelt on, put it in drive, and it'll go. But there's a thing where you can select leave on, so you know you can just leave it idling and get it nice and cool with the AC. And that comes in handy for me when I'm delivering, because I want to kind of keep the cabin cool if it's hot. And I can still lock it, but that feature only works one time. You have to toggle it back on to do it again. So many times I forget that I forgot to push it again, so I get out and it shuts off when I thought it would stay on the second time or the third time. So as nitpicky as that is, that's a con. I wish if it says it'll stay on for 60 minutes, I would hope that would be regardless of how many times you leave and enter the vehicle for 60 minutes. And we have an emergency vehicle. And con number two is that this thing does not have a traditional trip odometer. Now I get it, you don't have to fill it up with gasoline, so there's no need to calculate your miles per gallon or whatnot, but it'd still be nice to have. Now it does have a trip odometer, but it resets every time the vehicle shuts off. It'll reset it back to zero. Well, if I'm on a long road trip or some sort of trip, or I'm just trying to gauge a certain number of miles, it'd be nice that that wouldn't reset. Now maybe there is a way to keep it from doing that. I just haven't figured that out. If you happen to know that, please let me know in the comments down below. So I have to dog it for that. Con number three is that the level 2 charger that it comes with. Now that is a big plus that it comes with a level 2 charger. I think that's what allows you to really maximize the efficiency of this thing and be able to drive mostly on electric in town on a daily basis. but the only problem is it comes with a 25-foot cable, which means I can only pull into the garage one way, which is in. I like to back in usually when I park, especially in a garage, and just turn around and leave. But if I want to do that, it kind of stretches the cable too much. And ideally, I'd like to park it outside. This is where I had the 4xe part. I had it parked out of the garage, and I would just run the cable through a little opening in the garage door. It wasn't fully sealed. So it was nice having a 50-foot cable. I wish they would include that or give you the option. Con number 4 is no phone mirroring, which I mentioned earlier. No Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto, which can be a pro and a con. Sometimes it's a pro, especially when I'm doing the delivery driving and that thing. I'll constantly be going away from the vehicle and back, and sometimes it'll disconnect from Apple CarPlay, and I get back and it takes it a while to reconnect. Or sometimes if we're near a vehicle, we're not driving it, like in our driveway, my phone will accidentally connect to my wife's vehicle and whatnot, and that can be annoying. So it's kind of nice that this doesn't have that. It has dedicated Google Maps, so you could do 2 different routings on your phone and then one in the dash if you wanted to. So that is nice. But a con is that there's a lot more apps available, I think, through phone mirroring than just what they have available now. You can download apps through their with their built-in Google software, but they seem to be a little bit limited. Finally, my last con, and this is probably not just specific to this, but it doesn't come with a spare tire at all. It does have an inflator, a small little compressor, and I think some fix-a-flat, but I'm one who's just really all about having an actual physical spare. I know that adds more weight, but I've been stuck numerous times where I needed to change a tire out, and it wasn't always one that could have just been repaired with a compressor and some fix-a-flat. I've had sidewalls tear out, and this isn't just off-roading either. This is highway driving with a passenger sedan. And I tell you, you are thankful when you have even the Safe Saver spare. At least you got something to get you rolling and you're not just stranded waiting for a tow truck. Those are my initial pros and cons of the 2025 Chevy Equinox EV. Anyway, so far just really, really impressed with this vehicle. I know electric vehicles aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I think they do have their place. I think they are useful. I would definitely take advantage of the deal. $27,000 for a brand new car of any kind is a great deal right now in this day and age. So, and with the warranty and everything, you don't really have to worry. But if you enjoyed this, stay tuned to the channel for more future automotive reviews and future motoring adventures, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone.